Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lee, your host of Afterlife Restoration. I appreciate you returning viewers. Today I have a very exciting episode for you. So today we are going to repair, basically epoxy, glue back this broken tablet together, and then we're going to reset the whole thing back in its original location. Now, there is a lot of broken headstones, broken tablets that we're all going to get to eventually. Today I'm concentrating on fixing this one and then prepping a very large broken tablet, or whatever you want to call it, headstone, over there. We're going to prep it, we're going to epoxy it together, and then later in a couple of weeks when I know the epoxy held, we're going to use Frankenstein to reset that tablet back in its place, maybe even next weekend. But we got a lot of prep work to do. Now, I'm pretty sure I know where a lot of these headstones go, only based on the fact that there are coffin-shaped divots in the ground. So back then when they buried people in the 1800s, they essentially just put them in a wooden box. Now, as that box deteriorated over time, it left impressions into the ground. So it's actually easy to locate the graves. It is not easy to locate their headstones. But just judging off of that fact, I can repair the headstones right where the graves are. So let me give you an example. I'll go walk on over there with you and show you what I mean. Here is a prime example of this busted up headstone tablet. Kind of got moved out of its original spot. You can tell at one point in time, these bases are supposed to be buried in the ground up to a certain point. You can tell over time that this was unearthed, erosion, whatever happened, this was dug up and moved a little bit. Right here is the divot from where they buried this individual at, and over time when the box deteriorated, it left a deep impression. So right here, this area is where this gentleman was buried. I'm sorry. Right here is where the missus was buried. So we're going to be able to prep, clean her headstone. I'm going to move the base right where I'm sitting. We're going to bury the base. We're going to prep everything, and then we're going to glue the tablet back together, judging on how much epoxy I have left. And then we're going to come back later when I have Frankenstein. It's a very large headstone. But let me give you another example of a grave without a headstone. So right here is an extremely deep coffin-shaped impression. Over time, when the box collapsed, the body deteriorated, this all sunk in. Now, I found a footstone with some initials on it, so I'm hoping that that footstone at least belongs to who's ever buried here, and we're going to be able to find out, though. I need some local historians' help. My tongue is getting in the way of me talking today. Yeah, this is a very, very deep impression. So the footstone I found, has the initials EL on it. And this is the section where I know the lambs were buried in. And I do have a list with a lot of the names on it of people they believe to be buried here. So this is typically what a footstone would have looked like back in the day. Now, if I know this is her grave, then maybe we can find her headstone somewhere else. But which way was she facing? We don't want to, that is if this footstone belongs to this grave site. Okay, so what I did there was, we made sure we had a nice level base, and then we filled the crushed gravel in really slowly and keep packing it as you go. So you pour in a thin layer, pack it down. Pour in a layer, pack it down. Now we do have the option of covering the rest of this with dirt. So right now I use about $14 worth of crushed gravel from the Big Orange store. So with the generous, very, very generous donations I've received, I was able to buy the crushed gravel for this. Now, the good news is I do have a contact that owns a very large landscaping company and is willing to give me endless amount of crushed gravel so I don't have to pay for it anymore. The twist is I need to get a trailer now so I can haul it over here and then find a spot to dump it. But I'll have he's more than willing to help out the cause. So that money can go elsewhere towards epoxy, more monument cement. So I am so thankful for you guys helping me fund this project. It's getting me out of the shop. It's getting me here doing what I love. I'm very passionate about restoring history and family legacies. So once again, I just want to thank everybody out there for helping my dream come true and helping these poor souls out as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is that we're going to clean and prep all the surfaces that's going to come into contact with the epoxy and the mortar. So, one step at a time. It's a little bit of a process, but I'm glad you guys are here with me and enjoying the show. Hopefully I put on a good one for you today. Now, before we get to cleaning and reinstalling this headstone, I like to get myself in the mood. Yeah, I paused there so you can figure that out. What I mean by getting myself in the mood is I like to pop in scary stories, especially ones about haunted cemeteries. I got my headphones right here and I just dive into my own world. I want to give a shout out to Mortis Media for having tremendous amount of haunted stories about houses, poltergeists, demonic activity, everything I'm into. Mortis Media does not know I exist, so if you see this footage, let them know that Afterlife Restoration sends their best regards and keep up the good work. So right now I'm going to be listening to 7 True Disturbing Cemetery Scary Stories. Terrifying horror stories to fall asleep to. Well, I'm not falling asleep on this job, so alright, let's get to work. Okay, so now it's time to mix some mortar. That Big Orange store surprisingly had already pre-mixed mortar. Now, what that means is that the mortar is already mixed with sand and lime in it, so you don't have to buy extra bags of it. Now, there's another company online that I'm looking through, so now that my business is licensed and insured and legal and all that jabber, I can reach out to them companies and buy specialty items like pre-mixed mortar and everything from them, and possibly get a discount on it. So with this stuff, we got to add about 4 parts mortar mixture and then 1 part water. Now there is a lot of moisture already in the base and in the stone. It's been raining for like 4 days straight. So I'm gonna pretty much like mix my mortar really chunky So it sets a little faster. It's only 50 degrees today compared to 2 weekends ago when it was 85, and it's the end of May. I enjoy this type of weather though, don't get me wrong. This is how I measure. 1, whoops, 2, 3, 4. I already know to go with more than you think you need. Now, because I don't have a lot of access to water out here, I got one of these big old 27-gallon bins for a few bucks and just fill it with water and bring what I need. Last time I was here cleaning headstones, I realized that a 27-gallon tote might not have been enough. So right now she'll do. Okay, now that some time has passed, I just checked the headstone. It's pretty set in there. It is still pretty moist, but I'm comfortable enough now that we can get the other half of that headstone on. Before we do that, let me show you what I was working on before we took a landscaping break. I did a bunch of landscaping. Believe me, you don't want to see it. It's just landscaping. But I found something interesting we're going to work on tomorrow too. So we're able to unearth this footstone with the initials LAG on it. Then we found the headstone that was buried right in there, and it belongs to Lucinda A. Gardner. So tomorrow this is going to be a really easy, quick mortar job. The tablet is still in fairly good shape for being from 1866. So all right, let's get to our other tablet and let's get out of here for the day. Okay, well, it's been about 48 hours since we left the braces on, and now it's time for the unveiling. I was going to try to get here yesterday, but I had to work on my truck replacing rusted fuel lines. That was fun, so I didn't have a chance to get here yesterday and do some work. But let's get to the unveiling and let's get these braces off. Okay, so far so good. Ta-da! Oh, she's dirty. So, you are going to have a little play in it still. The epoxy and the mortar is kind of made to be a little softer, so that way if it breaks again it can be somewhat of a controlled break. But what we're going to do for the final touches is we're going to clean this base up a little bit more, and then we're going to put our monument cement right along the base here. I got a big goober there. I'll probably just end up shaving that goober out later once we give it a final cleaning. So next week, when we come back after the monument cement did its thing, we're going to go around and give this one last final cleaning. But I am pretty damn happy with the results so far. Alright, let's get to work. Now that we got the monument cement in, we can come back in about 2 weeks after it cures and then give this a really good detailed cleaning. Now I'm excited for that. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today's episode. So I'm going to be just going around doing some more landscaping. I brought a different lawnmower with me. I don't know if you guys remember what happened to my other lawnmower, but my father-in-law was very generous to give me another one. And also, he's a veteran as well. And today is Memorial Day, but this video is probably not coming out till the following Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm just going to be cutting the grass, weed whipping with my headphones in for the rest of the day. And I'll give you guys a sneak peek on the next episode. On the next episode of Cemetery Rescue, we will be resetting and mortaring this headstone in and cleaning the headstone, cleaning the footstone that we uncovered, and we're going to give that as reset as well too. And this grave is going to look fresh. I have a ton of landscaping to do today, so I'm going to let you guys go and I'm just going to go do my thing. If you guys want to see more landscaping, let me know. I can film it a little extra for you, but today I just want to put my headphones in, not worry about filming, get some projects done. And until then, you guys can always reach out at me at afterliferestoration.com. I appreciate you subscribers. I really appreciate the donators out there for making this possible. Until then, I'll see you later.